Slipknot's iconic album Iowa is one of the most raw and aggressive metal records ever. In a new interview with Revolver, Sid Wilson is opening up about the time that he played Iowa, an early version of it, for Papa Roach's then drummer. He said that the album appeared to melt his face. He said that his face partially collapsed while he was playing the record for him. Before we continue, we have a lot of returning viewers, and most of you have not yet subscribed. If you could take just a quick second to hit that subscribe button, we would really appreciate it. The interview with Revolver says, the Slipknot DJ recalls in vivid detail there was one instance when he and his bandmates played Iowa for then Papa Roach drummer Dave Buckner, and his face reportedly started collapsing from the sheer horror of the music coming out of the speakers. During a recent conversation with Revolver, Wilson recalled that producer Ross Robinson had handed Slipknot the final Iowa mixes while they were out on tour prior to the album's release. Be careful with this, Robinson warned, when Wilson and his bandmates got the recordings. Naturally, the masked maniacs didn't heed Robinson's ominous advice, and when they decided to play Buckner the album in their bus during a tour with Papa Roach, Wilson quickly realized their full powers of the music they were about to unleash onto the world. He said, "We had the Iowa album when we were on tour with Papa Roach, and to Dave, the original drummer, we were like, hey man, you want to listen to the new album? I didn't think it was out yet," and he was like, yeah. He comes up on the bus, and I think we were into maybe the third track, and I just watched his face, and he started getting uneasy, and he's looking around at the ground and stuff, and he looks up, and I'm looking at him, and his face collapses. One whole side of his face, and it drooped out like when you have a seizure. His whole face collapsed, and it just stayed down there. He said his eye, everything. The music collapsed his face. It destroyed his whole world right in front of me. I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I gotta go. And he stood up, and we were like, what the fuck? And I'm not lying. It wasn't just him making a face. This thing lost all will to live. One whole side of his face. He left. I looked at the guys. I'm like, oh my God, did we just fuck him up? I hope he's okay. I don't even really know what happened that day. He was still out there the rest of the tour and stuff. I guess he saw a doctor or something, but that's how dangerous that shit was. Now, after this conversation, Buckner apparently contacted Revolver and told his side of the story as well. He said that the real story is that me, Jacoby, and Tobin went up to the Houdini Mansion, Ross Robinson's studio, with the Slipknot guys while they were recording Iowa. They played us the album in the mixing room with the volume cracked to 11. I left the room with my ears ringing, and when I woke up the next day and the left side of my face was hanging off my skull, totally paralyzed. I thought I had a stroke during the night. I immediately saw a doctor, and turns out I had Bell's palsy, which is triggered by trauma to the facial nerve that runs through the ear canal in the skull. Causes can include blunt force trauma, extremely loud noise, and apparently Slipknot. Slipknot music literally melts faces. So as he's even pointing out himself, the record was so heavy and it was being played so loud that it apparently did cause him a bout with Bell's palsy. So anyways, folks, that is your latest update from Rockfeed. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest news and updates, and check out the recommended video up on your screen.